The movie begins in the year 2003. At a party, we meet a girl named Summer, who is enjoying herself. She runs into her college friend Quinn, who says, "I wasn't expecting you to come to this party today. Yesterday, your two friends were murdered." Summer replies, "They were very close to my heart. I haven't forgotten them and never will. But their murders can't stop my life." With that, she goes back to enjoying the party. Soon after, the police arrive at the party. They suspect that the killer of Summer's friends might be among the guests. Everyone is asked to leave the party. Meanwhile, Summer, unaware of what's happening, is in the washroom. Suddenly, a masked killer appears behind her. Terrified, Summer tries to save herself and runs to hide in a cabin. But the killer finds her there too. He uses his axe to cut her throat, killing her. The scene cuts, and the story moves forward 21 years to the year 2024. Now we are introduced to Lucy, Summer's younger sister. Lucy is very intelligent and currently a college student. She shares exciting news with her science teacher. NASA has selected her for an internship. Her teacher is thrilled, as this is a proud moment for both of them. However, Lucy feels worried because she hasn't told her parents about the internship yet. Her father wants her to work at the sonar company where he works, but Lucy's passion lies with NASA. College. The atmosphere is somber. It's the anniversary of the tragic day when Summer and 3 of her friends were murdered. Lucy, who was born after her sister's death, doesn't know much about Summer. But today, she feels curious to learn more about her. At home, Lucy opens Summer's room for the first time in years. The room has remained untouched since her death 21 years ago. As she looks through Summer's belongings, Lucy notices a loose wooden plank on the floor. Underneath it, she finds several letters that Summer had hidden. One letter stands out. It's strange and threatening, signed with the letter E. Lucy suspects it might have been written by Ethan, who was Summer's boyfriend at the time. Just then, Lucy's mom enters the room, so she quickly hides everything. Later, during breakfast, Lucy tells her dad about her NASA internship. As expected, her dad gets angry and scolds her, insisting she should join sonar instead. Despite the tension, the family decides to visit Summer's grave since it's the anniversary of her death. Lucy's mom and dad bring offerings for the grave, but Lucy doesn't have anything. When her mom asks why, Lucy lies, saying she left it in the car. Nervously, she runs to the car. Standing there, Lucy feels conflicted. She never really knew her sister or felt close to her, so she had no idea what to bring. While she's lost in thought, she hears a strange sound coming from a nearby hut. Curious, she decides to investigate. Inside the hut, Lucy finds a strange machine. The date of Summer's murder is displayed on it, and 2 laser lights are shining from the device. As soon as they collided, a strange light appeared. After that, everything around them changed completely, as if something new had happened. Lucy couldn't understand what had just occurred. When she stepped out of the hut, she saw that her sister's grave was no longer there. Her mom and dad, who had brought her to the grave, were also nowhere to be seen. Lucy checked her phone, but it had no network. Confused, she walked a little further and noticed a signboard that said 2003. That's when she realized she had traveled back in time. The machine she had seen earlier was a time machine, and now she had arrived in the year 2003. Realizing this, Lucy immediately went to her high school and found her science teacher. At the college, she also met her sister, Summer, for the very first time. Lucy was overwhelmed with emotions and confusion, unable to say anything to her sister because she couldn't comprehend the situation herself. She quickly ran to her teacher and asked him, "Is it possible to travel through time?" Before the teacher could answer, a boy in the lab spoke up, saying, "Yes, time travel is possible." The boy was Quinn, the same person Lucy had seen earlier in the movie with Summer. Seeing him and hearing his words, Lucy thought he might be able to help her return to her timeline. With this hope, she left the college. Outside, she noticed students making a lot of noise. Curious, she asked a student what was going on. The student explained that every year, the seniors pick a boy to bully and throw into the water, and today they were planning to throw Quinn. Knowing she needed Quinn's help, Lucy rushed to save him. When she arrived, she discovered that the bullies were none other than Summer's friends. These seniors were feared by everyone, and no one dared to stand up to them. Summoning her courage, Lucy confronted them and saved Quinn. Although the seniors left angrily, Quinn was grateful to Lucy and asked, "Who are you?" Lucy decided to tell him the truth. She explained, "I am a time traveler, and I need to return to my timeline. I need your help to do that." At first, Quinn didn't believe her. He said it wasn't possible. To convince him, Lucy showed him her phone, which was far more advanced than any technology in 2003. It was a touchscreen phone that could take pictures. Seeing this, Quinn finally believed her. He agreed to help and took Lucy to his house, where he had a small science lab. While they were there, Summer also came by to collect some notes from Quinn. Quinn told her, "I'll give you the notes at home." Before leaving, Summer noticed Lucy and asked, "Who is this?" Lucy quickly made up a false name and said, "I'm new to this college." She didn't want to reveal the truth to everyone just yet. With Summer gone, Quinn and Lucy got to work. They returned to the hut where Lucy had first traveled through time. They took the time machine and brought it back to Quinn's lab. However, the machine no longer had enough energy to function. Luckily, Lucy was not only intelligent but also an aspiring NASA engineer. She examined the machine and told Quinn that it could be powered with a sonar cylinder, which they didn't have. Lucy then said, "Don't worry. My dad, who is also Summer's dad, works at the sonar company. I can steal his pass and use it to get the sonar cylinder." But instead of heading to the sonar company, Quinn took Lucy to Summer's house. Summer was surprised to see Quinn and Lucy together. She asked Quinn, "Where are my notes?" Quinn replied, "I couldn't finish your notes because I was busy. That's why I brought Lucy with me. We'll complete your notes soon." Hearing this, Summer invited Lucy inside her house. Lucy had to go in. Inside, Lucy saw her mom and dad, who looked much younger than she remembered. Summer noticed Lucy's outdated fashion sense and didn't like it because she was into fashion at the time. So, Summer gave Lucy some of her clothes and did a makeover to match the timeline. These small gestures brought Lucy closer to Summer. She started feeling attached to her sister. While they were chatting, they talked about Quinn. Lucy assumed Quinn was in love with Summer, but Summer said, "No, it's nothing like that. I see him as a brother. He's just my good friend who helps me with my homework." Then, Summer revealed something surprising to Lucy. She said, "Actually, I love a girl. But in this time, relationships between girls are not considered acceptable." While they talked, Lucy noticed photos of Summer's friends in the room. Pointing at the pictures, she asked, "Are these two your close friends?" Summer said, "Yes. But how do you know their names?" She was surprised. Before Lucy could answer, she remembered that today was the day these friends were murdered at the mall. Worried, Lucy decided not to tell Summer anything. Instead, she quietly got into a car and rushed to the mall to save their lives. At the mall, the killer was already hiding in the showcase. He was the same person who had killed Summer earlier in the story. By the time Lucy reached the mall, it was about to close. Just as the killer stepped out of the showcase, he stabbed one of Summer's friends, killing them. Before he could attack the second friend, Lucy arrived at the right moment and distracted him. She managed to save the girl. Everyone was terrified. In their panic, they tried to run, but near the elevator, the killer caught the second friend. He threw her down the elevator shaft, killing her. The security guard at the mall tried to intervene to stop the killer. However, the killer attacked and killed the guard as well. Lucy was devastated. She realized that in the original timeline, only 2 people had been murdered. But now, because of her interference, the security guard had also lost his life. This wasn't the time to dwell on her sorrow. Lucy and the others ran away from the mall. Later, Quinn comforted Lucy, saying, "Don't be sad. If you ask me, it's better not to mess with the timeline. Let those who are meant to die, die. If you keep interfering, it might destroy the entire timeline. Even if you save your sister, It's possible that your parents will never plan for you. Remember, they planned for you after your sister's death. Lucy understood his point. She decided to focus on her mission. She went back home to steal her dad's card so she could access the sonar company and get the sonar cylinder. While she was doing this, Summer saw her and asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here? And how did you know there was going to be a murder at the mall today? How do you know the names of my friends?" At this moment, Lucy decides not to lie to Summer. Instead, she tells her the truth, that she is actually Summer's sister and has come here through time travel. Summer doesn't believe her and thinks Lucy is joking. But Lucy shows her a letter she found in Summer's room in the future. Seeing the letter, Summer is shocked. To confirm Lucy's words, Summer goes to her college. There, she finds the same letter in her locker. This letter wasn't written by Ethan as she had thought, but by her friend Emmy. Realizing this, Summer starts to believe Lucy's story. The scene shifts to Lucy and Quinn, who are working on the time machine. Lucy is determined to go back to her time, but Quinn wants her to stay. Quinn, who had always felt lonely, started to feel connected with Lucy. For the first time he had someone who understood him. During their conversation, Summer arrives. She believes only Lucy can save everyone's lives. She pleads with Lucy to help, and then, trying not to hurt her feelings, asks how she looks in the future. Lucy doesn't tell her the truth about her death and simply says, "You look very beautiful in the future." Summer then asks who the next murder victim will be. Lucy tells her it's her friend Emmy, and the murder will happen at her workplace. The three of them rush to stop it. Just as the killer is about to attack Emmy, they arrive and manage to distract him, saving Emmy's life. Unfortunately, the killer escapes. Afterward, they drop Emmy home. Quinn tells Lucy, "We stopped this murder and changed the timeline, but nothing bad happened to it. I thought saving someone would ruin the timeline, but it didn't. This means we can stop all the murders." He asks Lucy who the next victim is. Lucy hesitates but finally admits the next target is her sister, Summer. Lucy starts living with Summer but becomes restless, unable to sleep. She's worried about how to tell her sister that her murder is planned for the next day. Before Summer wakes up, Lucy sneaks out, steals her dad's ID card, and heads to Quinn's lab. There, she finds a love letter she had written for Summer. Remembering that Summer had told her she wasn't interested in boys, Lucy finds the letter odd. She tells Quinn, "It's better if you don't get involved in this." Later, Lucy gathers the courage to tell Summer the truth. "You're going to die today. I want to save you, but there's a problem. If I save you, I might stop existing because Mom and Dad plan to have me after your death." Hearing this, Summer feels conflicted and asks, "What should we do now?" Lucy replies, "I have a plan." She takes Summer to their dad's sonar office to steal the sonar cylinder. But when they get there, they discover the guard has already been killed, and one of the sonar cylinders is missing. Someone else is preparing to use a time machine, but they don't know who it is. Despite this, Lucy uses another sonar cylinder to power the time machine. She's determined to save her sister and ensure that they both can continue to exist. After making all her plans, Lucy goes to the hut where the time machine is kept. Meanwhile, Summer still decides to attend the party, even though the killer is supposed to attack her there. Maybe she thought that if anything happened, at least her sister, Lucy, would be safe. At the party, the killer approaches Summer to attack her. But just before he could harm her, Lucy and Quinn arrive in their car and hit the killer, saving Summer. When the killer removes his mask, everyone is shocked. It's Quinn, but from the future. The Quinn from 2003 confronts the future Quinn and asks, "Why are you doing this?" The killer Quinn explains, "In this timeline, you haven't gone through the terrible things that happened to me. That day, Summer's friends threw me into the water. I was humiliated, my confidence was shattered, and my life was ruined. That's why I decided to take revenge on her friends." He continues, "But I loved Summer. I couldn't bring myself to kill her. When I gave her a love letter, she tore it up and threw it in my face. That's when I decided to kill all three of them. Back then I didn't have the courage, but my anger and thirst for revenge grew so strong that I built a time machine. I came here to take my revenge. It became clear that Lucy had prevented Quinn from becoming a killer. Because of her, Summer's friends couldn't humiliate him, and Lucy stopped him from giving the love letter to Summer. While they are arguing, everyone ends up inside the hut where the time machine is located. Lucy cleverly turns on the time machine. A bright light appears as the laser beams collide, pulling both the killer Quinn and Lucy back to their timelines. In her timeline, the killer tries to attack Lucy, but she stabs him with his own knife, killing him. Afterward, Lucy realizes she still has a sonar cylinder in her pocket, the one she had stolen earlier. With it, she can use the time machine to go back to the past again. Lucy decides to return to the past because, in her current timeline, she is very lonely. She has no friends or family, but in the past, she had her sister Summer and her friend Quinn. Lucy activates the time machine and travels back to the past. When she arrives, Summer and Quinn are shocked but happy to see her. Summer asks, "Why did you come back?" Lucy replies, "In the future, I don't have a sister or a friend. I want to be happy with you." Hearing this, Summer hugs her tightly and welcomes her back. The story ends with Lucy, Summer, and Quinn living happily like a family. Lucy applies for an internship at NASA again, and this time she gets selected. Everyone is overjoyed, and the movie ends on a happy note.